right, before we get to our last game, it's going to be the Monday Night Football game. If you want to get free plays sent right to your cell phone, you just go to jimfeist.com. Top right-hand corner, you see a box to put in your cell number. You get free daily plays every single day right to your cell phone from Jim Feist. Also, if you want to check out Jim Feist's YouTube page called Sports Betting, just click on the link right above us. You'll get updates on free picks and videos from Jim and all the gang right from Las Vegas, and it's free. Okay, the Monday night game, we got the Texans playing at the Steelers, a couple of AFC teams that, well, it's difficult to figure out who they are at this point. They've been so erratic. Steelers opened 4. It's now down to 3. The total went from 44 to 45 on the early money. You know, Bill O'Brien was brought in Houston to kind of jumpstart the passing game. It really hasn't happened. They're 28th in the NFL in passing, 10th in rushing, so it's still a run-first team. And the quarterback he brought in, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 10 sacks. That's just not going to get it done in today's NFL. And the defense, too, which seems to have more talent, has been terrible. 28th against the pass, 22nd against the run. They come off the home loss to the Colts, 33 to 28. So Harvard, a strange team and a lot of problems and question marks for the Houston Texans team.
Well, one of my fellow Harvard, not a classmate, because I'm a little bit older, but this Ryan Fitzpatrick, he might be able to recite the theory of relativity, but he is not relative when it comes to football theory. This guy's a complete idiot
You don't like
at certain times on the field. I mean, a bright guy, a great young man and all that, but, I just don't want to – I can't trust taking Ryan Fitzpatrick as my leader, especially on a huge game like this in Pittsburgh. Sometimes I feel more sorry for J.J. Watt. I mean, here's a guy that does everything. I mean, everything you would ever want to ask any one player to do, he does enough for 3 players. He's already had 16 quarterback hits, 15 tackles. He's run an interception in for a touchdown. On offense, you got Foster at 4.8 yards per carry, and that's exactly the same thing as Frank Gore. So when you look at Frank Gore as a premium running back, why not look at Foster also? I mean, he's got the weapons there, Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins. But then, like you mentioned, 28th against the pass on defense. You got a good defense and everything, but, I think a veteran like Ben can pick it apart. Then I look at Pittsburgh. What's wrong with them? Why are they 3-3? I mean, they're 10th in passing, 8th in rushing, 12th in pass defense, 14th against the run, 4th in total offense. I mean, these are all small numbers. I mean, these are great numbers for them. 4 of their last 6 games, I think they've been on the road for quite a bit the first part of the year, but they've played 3 of the worst defenses in the NFL. Now, you could say that's how they padded their numbers, or that's how they've stayed in at this level at 3-3 and padded their confidence. Well, I'm going to take the Monday night, Pittsburgh on Monday night. I like that. I like the home team for this particular game. I like that we're only laying 3. I would say bet it early. It's certainly not going to 2.5, but it could go back up to 3.5 or 4. So if you like this game, try to get a 3 right off the bat. Just knowing that if you're taking Pittsburgh, you're really taking Gentle Ben against Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who do you like?
Well,
and I'm taking Pittsburgh and lay the 3.
Well, I'm going to guess that you were glad that Ryan Fitzpatrick got out of Buffalo. Did you drive the limo to the airport?
You know what? I didn't even think about him at all over the weekend.
You made a good point about the Steelers. When I look at their overall stats, pretty good. You think they have a winning record, and yet they've been a very erratic team. 3-3 overall, 2-4 against the spread. I was talking to a sportsbook director on Sunday watching the games, and he said before the game, I really wanted to take Pittsburgh at this price here, but I couldn't do it because of their crazy play. And then his instincts were right. They got blown out 31-10 by the Browns. They allowed 158 yards rushing. So, Zach, have you figured out this crazy Pittsburgh team? Go ahead, Harvey.
I was just going to say one thing, and I've done a lot of reading on the in Pittsburgh papers and all that. A few years ago, everybody loved Tomlin, and maybe they still do. But he's getting up and he's apologizing week after week after week, and the fans are getting a little bit tired of it. They're tired of him saying it's my fault, it's the coaching, we just have to do better, we just have to do better, we just have to do better. No. That thing was like for 2 or 3 years ago. Now you just have to win. Ben is not getting any younger, and people are starting to panic. They're running out of time, and They want the same urgency the fans have for the coaching. When you're talking about urgency, you don't have time just to do better. You better do it right now. And that's all I want to say. And I think this is a key game. I mean, a huge play for Pittsburgh and their fans and their city and that Monday night game. So look for a huge effort. If they're going to be relative this year, it better start right now.
Yeah, with Pittsburgh, they kind of remind me of a college basketball team. The only team in the NFL like this. Dallas was like this for years, but this year, Pittsburgh, they play down to the level of their opponent for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But this is going to be a week where I reverse that. I'm going to play Pittsburgh. They're going to be my best bet of the week as well. And the reason why we're at that point, week 7, it's about midpoint of the year. This is a time where you can find money value on predicting which teams are going to be looking at a new quarterback starting here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I hate to say it. Ryan Fitzpatrick went to my high school, followed his career, but I know his time is coming to an end. You've seen it for years. Houston got put in a tough predicament having to trade away Matt Schaub because they had to let him go. They had to find a quarterback late. So they decided to bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick. Got Ryan Mallett for the backup, and he's going to be in the lineup here sooner than later after Ryan Fitzpatrick puts up one of his bad games. This is going to be a spotlight game Monday night. And let's just recap what Houston's been through this season. The first game against Washington, they shouldn't have won that game. I'll be honest right there. I had Houston, but they shouldn't have won that game. They had a couple of red zone turnovers, Washington, and they had a blocked punt for a touchdown, Houston. So Ryan Fitzpatrick got away with a bad game that game. Against Dallas, 0-0. Defense kept them in the game as Dallas had just beaten the New Orleans Saints. Ryan Fitzpatrick, another bad game. 17-7. They got a few late scores to force that overtime. Once again, he got covered in that game because Houston stayed in it. Last week against the Colts, once again, J.J. Watt picks up the ball, runs it in. It just keeps happening. They get these fortunate breaks on both sides of the ball, and it's protecting Ryan Fitzpatrick's poor play. This week against the Steelers, though, Pittsburgh's offense is going to come in ready to play. I see Houston's defense breaking this week. They just cannot keep holding up the way they have, allowing teams to move the ball with ease and then getting these fortunate turnovers. That's going to put pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Aaron Foster, a great back, but he doesn't have the consistency anymore they had 2 to 3 years ago. He can't pile up these 120, 140-yard games back-to-back weeks anymore. So I see him coming back after that 140-yard game last week against the Colts. I see him taking a few steps back. There's no Ben Tate anymore to help him out, and that's going to put some big-time pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick. So let's play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's not forget, Pittsburgh's 3-3, but they're in a division probably the best in the league that nobody's talking about. Cleveland Browns doing well. Cincinnati Bengals doing well. And Baltimore doing well. So Pittsburgh 3-3, right in the thick of things, but that division is stronger than people think.
Or would you make the over-under on Ryan Mallett, 2.5 weeks?
Oh, man.
Shorter.
Oh, maybe even this weekend. That's a good point about Mallett. I'm going to cut the Pittsburgh Steelers some slack. They played 4 of their first 6 games on the road, and if you remember, they opened against the Browns, so they played 4 of the last 5 games on the road, and they haven't been terrible during that stretch. Remember, they went to Carolina and just blew them out 37-19. Plus, they did beat the Browns with a lot of points in that opener. Meanwhile, the Houston, they're on a 1-3 run. Even the defense, the last 4 games, they've allowed 30, 17, 20, and 33 points. And this is a bad situational spot. 4th game on the road in 6 weeks for them. Houston 4-9 ATS run on the road, and also 0-6 against the spread on Monday night. But still, as far as situational handicapping is concerned, Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, are the play, and I will take them on Monday night. All right, let's recap some of the offers we have going. Harvard 44-28 run overall, including that 3-0 Saturday. And you're going to head out west for a special 3-pack on Saturday this weekend.
Well, this is like the Wild West, robbing a stagecoach back in the 1800s from Wells Fargo and just taking everything you got. I mean, I love the West. Pac-12, when all the East Coast people are asleep, we're watching and studying these games, and we can definitely take advantage of these numbers. Mountain West Game of the Year, Pac-12 Game of the Year, the Big Ten. And let me tell you this, the Big Ten, it's even though every team in that conference stinks, they still get some good matchups, and they also get some plays that you can really take advantage of. So this week is labeled 3 more for the money. Three gets the cash last week, offered that big 3-game, 3-winner, all guaranteed for $66. Well, 3 more for the money, the same guarantee. So we're going to be going to from 44-28 to 47-28 right off the stagecoach.
All right, Zach, you're 17-12 college football, also 16-5-1 in the NFL. Didn't lose a single NFL game this weekend, Sunday and Monday, a perfect 4-0. How can folks jump aboard you for this week?
Let's get on board. 76% in the NFL, and in college, rated below 60%. I feel a hot streak coming in college football. I've been kind of pushing back my plays in college because I've been getting a feel for these new teams. A lot of changes between quarterbacks and running backs from the past 2 to 3 years, so getting a good feel for college now. This is the week I'm going to strike with a big package in college football. NFL, staying the same formula, just building winners on a week-to-week basis. But go on JimFice.com. I will have both packages up between $50 and $60, and let's get some winners this week.
All right, and your best bet is going to be the Steelers?
Pittsburgh Steelers, and one thing I want to touch on, I didn't in the earlier part of the video here. Sports bettors and the sports community, please stop giving bad teams love. We're getting trapped into this. I'm seeing this on a weekly basis. There's no reason to do it, and there's no reason to do it this week with the Houston Texans. Let's keep in mind a couple of key games that I'm just shaking my head like, what are people thinking? Baltimore Ravens, -3 against Tampa Bay, after we just watched Tampa Bay get blown out against the Falcons a few weeks before that. The Saints game, what you saw last is not exactly what you should think when it comes to sports hand game. Just because they came back against the Saints and beat Pittsburgh on a miracle does not mean that they should have been a 3-point dog at home. They're a horrible team, and people lost bad on that game. Another key game that I'll bring up, just my best bet this past week, 49ers. I expected that line to move when I talked about that last Tuesday on the show. It stayed at 3.5 the whole week, even to Monday night, and another head scratcher. This week, do not wait for this one. John said it opened at 4 and came down to 3. Why? I have no idea. Get on it now. I don't care if people don't move it up or move it down. It's going to win.
All right.
One other thing, too, on what Zach said, don't give all the love to these bad teams. My best bet is going against a bad team. Let me ask you this. How is a 1-5 Washington team laying 4.5 points against anybody? They have no offensive line. They have no defense. Cousins, I love the guy. In fact, I thought he was going to be their franchise and everything. 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions the last 4 games. Maybe he can fill the injury starting to heal with, RG3 or something like that, and he's panicking. But they're playing, Tennessee, and the word's out that Locker's thumb, he can't grip the ball and all that. Hey, don't worry about Tennessee fans. Charlie Weisenhurst, he can do anything. Weisenhut, the offensive. He's an offensive genius coach. I guarantee you, he'll have this team ready to play. They keep it close. That's one thing I'll say about all Tennessee games. They might win by 2 or 3, or they might lose by 2 or 3. But here, a Washington -4.5. Are you kidding me? They shouldn't lay 4.5 to anybody. When they can win more than one game going into week 7, maybe they can lay a point, but not 4.5 points. So that's my best bet. Taking Tennessee plus the 4.5. But your best bet is to come on board. Get that Wild West package, Pac-12 game of the year, the Mountain West game of the year, and the Big Ten game of the month. And what you got there, John?
I will go with Monday Night Football. Best bet on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great situational spot. Jim Feist has an NFL divisional dominator. That's going Thursday. The AFC East game is another college conference game of the year going Saturday, plus another high roller release. If you missed it a couple weeks ago when the Giants beat the Atlanta 30-20, or if you missed it, the total, a high roller total on Sunday, Bucks Ravens over 48-17. You get another chance this Sunday. You can find that play and more at jimfeist.com. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Make sure you check out that website for free stats and videos. Good luck with the games, and we'll see you next week with another edition of the NFL version of Pro Line.